Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Loud, a pop culture podcast for March 21st, 2022. I am your host, as always, Tomye West, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Alannis Maximus.
What is up?
How you going, man?
Yeah, not bad. Living the dream.
Yeah, how was work?
Yeah, there.
Nice. Yeah, I've been just going through doing band stuff and going through my card stuff, playing a bit of video games, and yeah, just hung with the young one on the weekend. Bought a booster box of Pokemon cards. Worst Brilliant Stars booster box I've opened in a long time, so that was $170 down the drain. Really pissed off about that. I was so mad. Like afterwards, towards the end of the box, I was like, "This is what depression feels like." You know what I mean? So, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share. We are now at 108 subscribers, which makes it that we have finally reached our sub goal of 100 subscribers.
Woo.
I was going to buy party whistles and shit, but you know what? Daddy didn't have the time. But with that, we're going to quickly have a chat about giving away this Soultone Cymbals custom Tomye West Escobar splash. It's got the logo of Pablo Escobar on it with my signature. The symbol obviously needs a bit of cleaning up. It's been used a couple of times. It's not brand new. It's used, but it's been used maybe 3 or 4 times. Like really, because I don't use splashes too much. And it came out of my complete set where I've got the ride here, which is huge. So it's kind of coming out of my own collection, but it's still going to one lucky viewer. Unfortunately, anyone that has subscribed after the 100 person mark missed out on this sub goal, and we are only going from the 100 subscribers that we had when we hit 100 subscribers. Good news about that is you will be up for the next sub goal we reach, which I'm guessing we'll look at 150.
Yep.
What do you think about that as a sub goal?
I think that is fair.
Yep. So another 50, less than 50 subscribers. Now, we haven't decided what the present will be, the gift. We're going to chat about that. We also haven't really discussed how we're going to pick a winner out of this first 100 subscribers. I think we're going to chat about that tonight. But I'm thinking we'll make a wheel with everyone's name on it from the 100, because you can do that on the internet and the wheels. We'll spin it probably on our Batman episode tomorrow night. So stay tuned if you're watching tomorrow night. We'll do the wheel live on the video. There'll be no fixing, no nothing. Whoever it lands on receives it. Shipping paid for and everything. It's all free. So how do you feel about that, Alan?
I like this.
It's going to take a while to make the list of people, and for some reason, it says we got 108 subscribers, but I can't see all 108 people. So the wheel will consist of anyone in the 100 subscribers that we can physically see with our own eyes in that first 100 mark. So if you haven't already, make sure you've subscribed, like, and share. That's a really expensive symbol. It's a nice symbol. Whatever you do with it, hang it on the wall, play with it, do whatever you want with it. But the gifts, the winning gifts that we send out won't all be on the caliber of that gift there. But yeah, I just thought as a first 100, we do something kind of special. I don't know. We'll come up with an idea of what we can give away. It may be, a box of Pokemon cards. It might be something collectible. It might be something from our personal collections. It might be an action figure. It could be anything. We'll discuss that later on. But anyway, we'll continue on with the episode for today, where we are discussing a few news stories, including Grand Theft Auto 5 Next Gen, rumors on GTA6 locations, and a bunch more, including Netflix's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and we'll be officially reacting to the new Moonlight trailer as well, among a lot of other things. It's a very, very video game heavy episode. How are you feeling about that, Alan?
I feel that smashing.
All right, cool. Well, before we get started on anything, did you see about how I can retire?
Retire?
So I got an email, and it says, dear friend, contact my secretary for the delivering of your Visa card value of some 2.5 million US dollars. And that someone needs to inform me that the success in getting those funds transferred under the cooperation of a new partner from Paraguay. So basically, they're trying to say that. Okay, here, I'll just read this. I tried my best to involve you in the gold diamond business, but God decided the whole situation's presently I'm in. So it goes on, man. So they've asked me to provide my bank details. So I'm thinking of doing that after this and sailing off to Cancun. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Give them mine as well and my tax file number.
I definitely will, man. Birth certificate, passports, you name it. Man, I look at how dark it is in my room now. Like literally, we started recording. I'm like, I just got the contrast of me, how dark it is in my room, and the lights on my TV going perfect. And then suddenly it goes to midnight. So now I have to do that. Anyways, let's get on with the first story, which is Grand Theft Auto 5 Next Gen, with the sub caption, "I fell for it again." So, over the week, Rockstar Games officially released the PS5 update to Grand Theft Auto, and what kills me about it is I've been saying on this episode for many episodes now of this show that I was not going to fall for this trap and repurchase this game again. I said it, and I put my hands up and I said it, and you know what? I fell for it again, man. They tricked me. Now, when we reported on this GTA 5 Next Gen or Xbox Next Gen version, a couple of episodes back, maybe even last episode, we reported what the rough prices were going to be and what was going to be featured in these expansions. We actually did feature what was going to be in these expansions quite heavily, and then the episode decided to delete itself from all of history. So we did dive back into this for a little bit and discuss it. It was basically just going to be better graphics. Now, I wasn't going to buy this at the price that we saw it for, which was 44 US dollars, so like 69 bucks here or whatever it was. But what I didn't realize was that was if you hadn't bought it at all. So I paid $15 and
That's not bad.
Got the upgrade. Now, while this is still me falling for a blatant trick, the cool thing was I didn't think about the trophy element and shit like that, which is that you get to play the game again and play it like unlocking trophies again for the first time. As you can see on behind me, I got first person mode just on still mode because one of the trophies is play the game for 15 hours in first person mode. And I don't know if anyone out there else agrees, but first person mode in GTA 5 sucks. So I'm just going to let it linger on in the background behind me. What are your thoughts on this next gen version, Alan? And did you buy a Xbox One version of it? And will you plan to upgrade to the new version if that's what it'll cost you, $15?
I did get the Xbox One version, and knowing that I'll only pay $15 more, I am definitely more likely to go, hey, I might get this, because that is good. And I want to encourage companies to do that.
And they've done a cool thing with online, which is where you can start fresh online, pick what you want to do. So executive, biker, club owner, or gun runner. And then you can get $4 million to spend or something like that as soon as you log in, and you could buy a car, property, drive, a garage, and weapons and stuff like that. So, and you have to spend between $3 to $4 million, and then you can start, and then you can create a character, and it kind of has this more staged path of how you can get what you want to do out of the online. So, for instance, I picked executive because I didn't want to have to. I wanted to go bike gang, but I didn't want to have to rely on other people doing bikie gang missions with me and driving in a bikie gang formation with people online. I want to mainly have the online experience single player, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? So yeah. I went with executive because then you can kind of like accept your missions and do what you want to build your business. But you can also then end up starting a biker gang. So you're not closed off to like, once you make that decision, that's all you can do. You can build it outwards. but I thought as a ground starting point, going executive would be the best decision so that you could kind of just build your narrative to begin with how you want it, and not rely on other rooms or featured game lists and stuff. So, I mean, how much have you dived into GTA 5 Online, Alan, and like, do you plan on playing a little bit more? I'm not sure if there's cross-platform, but if so, we should jump on if you are keen.
Yeah, I have played absolute zero of online. I kind of played through the story and then I went, well, that's enough for now, and I haven't gone back yet. But
I'm just looking at
I am
cross-platform. One
yeah.
second. Unfortunately, GTA 5 is not cross-platform, so we can't play it together. But I'm excited to give it a go. For $15, it really wasn't too much off, the skin of my nose. I was like, look, I wouldn't mind seeing what the graphic update looks like, seeing how the game runs. It still runs like the interfaces and the sort of, heads-up display and stuff is exactly the same, but the graphics, the feeling of the game, everything feels like it runs a lot smoother and a lot better. So it's basically what everyone expected out of GTA 5, just refined. And yeah, so I mean, what are your thoughts on this as well, Alan? You gonna any more thoughts, or are you looking forward to Rockstar Games moving on, or doing something different?
For the price, I'm pretty keen to give it another go. But I'm definitely more excited for GTA6.
Yes.
But yeah, I think I'm proud of them for discounting for if you already own the game. Like,
yeah, well,
that's
look,
nice.
I wouldn't expect that, man, because look, Rockstar Games, they'll take every penny they can out of you. Now I don't remember. If you do remember, and you want to comment, please comment so we can address it in the next episode. I don't know what the pricing was for upgrading from the 360 version to the Xbox One price anymore. Do you remember what that was back then, or was that a straight out purchase, or was it an upgrade?
I don't remember because I didn't actually get on the bandwagon until the Xbox One version. It was one of those games where I'm like, I should play this. And then they were talking about redoing it, so I'm like, I'll get it when it's redone, and I did.
All right.
So,
Well, I'm looking quickly. There's a trophy list for Grand Theft Auto 5 on PS5. Then you go down and there's there should be a trophy list for it on PS4, obviously. Should be out further than that. 1 second. So Grand Theft Auto 5, PlayStation 5. Then we got Grand Theft Auto. Now I can't find my Grand Theft Auto saves from PS4.
it should be a thank you for giving us money trophy just because you bought it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, man, it's whack. I literally can't find my GTA 5 PS4 save trophies. Wait 1 second. Go back into it once more. But yeah, so right now I'm back in Los Santos and I'm kind of, dipping my toe in. I'm just going to run here again. Okay, that's whack. So I don't know if I doubt they'd be taken away from you. See, the thing is, PlayStation have taken the option to look at my PS3 trophies. So I can't tell you what my PS3 trophies are or fucking anything. So yeah, I'd love to go on my trophy database online and see exactly if it's like been separate purchases every time, or when we play GTA 4. It has to be 3 different trophy lists for each console, achievement lists, trophies, whatever you're on. Anyways, that's it for that story kind of thing. Just thought we'd touch base on what the game is and what we're doing and that sort of thing, which moves us on to our next story. GTA 6 location rumors. Location. This is story number 2. So GTA 6 rumors have leaked. Again, these are taken with a grain of salt because rumors for Rockstar Games don't happen, really.
No.
We got rumors about the trilogy definitive edition, but that was not being developed by Rockstar Games. That was developed by Grove Street Games, who are like a subdivision that Rockstar Games work with on their mobile ports of the games and things like that. So these are just rumors that you have to take with a grain of salt. Now, I'm not taking them from an actual source at the moment. I'm just repeating what I heard on Sacred Cymbals podcast, who I always highly recommend to everybody, and I always tell people when I get news information from them. They're a PlayStation podcast, #1 PlayStation Patreon podcast in the world. hosted by Colin Moriarty, who was the senior editor for PlayStation at IGN. Worked for Kind of Funny, was co-founder of Kind of Funny, and left, and now is the founder of Sacred Cymbals. And go check them out if you haven't; they're awesome. And support them on Patreon. But what I heard was that we may be getting GTA 6 spanning across many locations, including Liberty City, Los Santos, Vice City, and London, which the first game was set in, if anyone wasn't too sure. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on hearing that, Alan? And what do you think about the decision if they were to go forward with that?
I was actually going to say that I hope they do something like that, because we definitely are at a point where there are a lot of games that could go that big, and I think it would be good to see it from Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, well, look, I'm kind of at a crossroads here with this, because as I said on Sacred Cymbals, like, would they like this? This was a question written in saying, like, basically, what do you think about these rumors and how that weren't speculated on more, and what do you think about the size of a game like this? And what Colin said, which is something I totally agree with, is that how would that work? How natural would it feel traveling from one part of this, like, world to another? What would be the point? And also, why wouldn't you focus on making a state or a part of a city where it, like, lives and breathes, like, and just focus on making, like, as the Los Santos is, or 5 is, it's like the whole state, you know what I mean? So I don't know how you would go about creating Liberty City, making it full expansive area, Los Santos full expansive area, Miami, and then London on top of that, and how you would travel in between and how natural that would feel. Would it be like the swapping of characters in GTA 5 where you just push down on the D-pad, pick who you want to go to, goes up into the sky and transforms back down? Like, that could be an option where the characters don't necessarily have to travel from each state, but the 3 characters are spread out across different cities and you can just go in and out. That could be a possible way. I mean, what are your thoughts on something like that, Alan? Like, did you think about that aspect?
I think that could work. I think London might be far-fetched, considering it's like a completely different thing, and I don't know. But I think, yeah, your idea with kind of zooming in and out. I don't know how I feel about kind of like a loading transition, but you could be like, there could be 3 separate.
Now, to be honest, that's the first time I thought about how they could actually achieve it. And I just said what I was thinking as I was talking, yeah? And to me, what I'm happy about that assumption is that that's the most realistic way you could tackle that, in my opinion. If you were to spread it that there's 3 characters and then eventually you hop on a plane and travel here and travel there, that's way more messy and not sort of captivating to me as like having 3 stories that can collide at the end, having 3 different characters in 3 different cities and having those options to explore those cities. I mean, you could make those cities the even size of like Los Santos, but separate cities, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
it would feel just as big, but sort of, I don't know how you do it, but yeah, it's something to everyone should have a think about, because I think GTA are going to just go the same old route, and we're probably going to get Vice City. Like, let's be real. We got Liberty City for 4. We got the 2 games in Liberty City, and then we got Los Santos. And if you go back to Liberty City again, people are going to be like, you had GTA 3 there, you had Liberty City Stories there, you had Chinatown Wars there, you had 4 there, you had episodes of Liberty Cyprem City. And then you got Los Santos, which is already been fucking worn out because of the 3 games doing that 3 times. So to come back with anything other than Vice City or a brand new area would kind of, I think, be a kick to the fans. Would you agree with that?
I agree, yeah. And having said that as well, either Liberty City or even London just by itself, I think could be interesting as well. Like,
what about something different, like Japan, like being a Yakuza? Like, I know there's a Yakuza game, but like, why not like have a Grand Theft Auto? Like, we got Chinatown Wars. It just wasn't set in actual China, you know? So, I mean, I'm open to the idea of being in a complete different continent, country, whatever, you know. I just feel like I mean, out of the three, look, I'm an outlier here. Out of the trilogy, Vice City is my least favorite.
Yeah.
I liked Liberty City the most because it was the first time we got a 3D open world GTA game like that. Then Vice City kind of didn't blow me out of the water. I got sick of those RC control missions. And then San Andreas, I liked a lot because of the setting. I love 4. I finished 5 multiple times. So I just think we either need to go somewhere new or we need to revisit Vice City more realized than what we've had it in previous installments.
Yeah, I think that's a fair call.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much it for the GTA news for the day. So we're going to move on to a completely different game at the moment, which is Hogwarts Legacy, reaction and thoughts. Now, I have purposely not watched anything about this. I haven't seen gameplay footage. I haven't seen screenshots. I haven't seen shit. I've just heard reports, heard podcasts about what their thoughts on it and stuff. Now, we're not going to watch the whole thing because it's too long. It's 20 minutes. But I thought we could have a skip through together and check out Hogwarts Legacy with our reaction and our thoughts on the preview. We'll play it with sound so everyone can hear it. We're going to hear it for the first time as well. And as I said, we'll skip through it. It's 20 minutes long, but we'll give it a fair go and see what it's like. Because before we start it, how excited are you for this game,
Alan? I'm a little indifferent. I've it's not through a dislike, but just I've never gone there. I haven't done much of the Harry Potter thing, so I'm curious, but I'm not super excited.
Well, this is a very excited. I'm so excited for this game, man, because the Lego Harry Potter games are so good, and it's not because they're Lego. It's because they are Harry Potter at heart, and you get an open world Hogwarts to explore that you unlock areas by getting new spells and blah, 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 and doing this and doing that. Eventually, you can walk around the whole of Hogwarts and find secret places and go to the Quidditch match and then get on the train and go to Hogsmeade and do all this shit. And I've wanted that in a new Hogwarts, like Harry Potter game so badly, but like in a proper realized game, not a Lego game. So the only thing that is missing for me is that it's not connected to Harry Potter's story narrative itself. It's connected to the world of Hogwarts. So let's give it a look and see what we think.
Lumos. What do you think you're doing here, humans?
Welcome to Hogwarts Legacy. You're a new student at the famed School of Witchcraft and Wizardry with a unique ability to manipulate powerful ancient magic hidden in the wizarding world. You'll need to uncover what's behind the return of this forgotten magic and who is seeking to harness it to destroy wizard kind, as you may be the one that decides the fate of the entire wizarding world. But before you can study magic and begin to solve these mysteries, you must create the witch or wizard you want to be. When you arrive at Hogwarts, you will be sorted into one of the 4 Hogwarts houses: Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin. After you settle into your dormitory, you will meet up with your housemates in the common room. You will then need to attend classes, and you do have some catching up to do, as you were starting Hogwarts late as a 5th year.
So you are the new student.
You'll begin your studies attending Charms, Defense Against the Dark Arts, Herbology, and Potions classes to name a few.
Ah, hello! Class, please welcome the newest rose in our garden.
Shall we begin? Welcome to Year 5 of Chant. Now, this will be a crucial year in your education on the art of charm work, but I am confident that we will take hold with the passion and rigor requisite of such a challenge.
The best way to practice is by dueling. We'll start with you two.
Time for a proper Hogwarts welcome.
Skip forward a bit.
You may even find yourself in iconic locations you've never been able to explore before. It's the late 1800s, so while the common rooms and classes may be familiar, most of your professors will not be. On your path to become the ultimate duelist.
Perhaps you'd be good enough to blast each other to pieces in your own time.
In addition to classes and spells,
So-
you'll have access to a deep...
What are your thoughts on so far from what you're seeing?
It does look interesting.
We've still got it playing for everyone. If you're just listening, we're watching. Oh, look at that, man! This looks great, dude.
It does look fresh. It's even if it's not a Harry Potter fan, it does look like it would be fun.
Dude, I've definitely got to watch this and lay into this trailer a little bit more. Like when we're not on podcast, because I've been dying to watch more of it. But I wanted my reaction. Like, dude, look at this, dude. Like, this looks epic, man. Like, this looks like the Hogwarts, like the Harry Potter game that everyone wants. And look, I know that there's controversy surrounding Rowling at the moment and things like that, but like, at the end of the day, she had nothing to do with the development of this game. She's already a billionaire. She doesn't. It's not. The money that she's going to get from like the royalties of this game, while it may be fucking outlandish and disgusting, is nothing to her wallet already. I'm not saying what she's said is justified, and I'm not saying she's right, and I'm not saying that people shouldn't, argue with their wallet, which is don't buy it if you don't want to support her sort of slanderous remarks against transgender people and all that. I'm not saying I support that, but being a Harry Potter fan, I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm not going to support this game, because I'm going to get this game and I'm going to play it. And I'm not going to feel bad about it, because again, how much did J.K. Rowling have anything to do with this? Apparently, you have the transgender option when you are picking your how you want your wizard to be and shaping your wizard and stuff. I think that saying you don't want to support this game for that reason is well and good, but also you shouldn't argue to people who do want to play this game and shouldn't feel bad about playing this game. What do you feel about that, Alan?
I think that's pretty much the nail on the head. I don't think boycotting this game is going to hit the intended targets to any noticeable amount.
Does it really matter? Like, if this game never happened, does J.K. Rowling suffer any more than if this game did happen? That's what I want. We'll move on to the next story, which is The Quarry. Until Dawn's spiritual successor has been announced. Now, we have not watched the reveal trailer. Have you watched this reveal trailer yet, Alan?
I have not, no.
So we're going to watch it together. I'll bring it up now. And I'm really excited about this game. We'll talk a little bit more why when we watch the trailer. So here it is.
Yeah, Hackett's Quarry forever!
I just want to get you guys safely out of Dodge before the sun goes down. Damn it! I thought I told you kids to check everything.
Look, it's not that big of a deal, okay? We'll just spend one more night here.
No! No! Just stop. Let me think.
Well, what's going on with my connection? 1 second.
Okay. Make sure that everybody is inside the lodge for tonight. Lock the doors. No one in, no one out. No one got it? I'll be back first thing in the morning, and we'll get you all on the road.
what if we're out partying tonight out in the woods and we end up in a most dangerous game situation?
Like when people hunt other people?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, think about it. It's camp is over and hunting season has just begun.
I did see a weird light in the treehouse across the lake. That was pretty spooky. Maybe it's your girlfriend, Brian.
The bag of hack is Quarry.
Should we hear that? Should we look?
Maybe it was the bears.
Hey, why does everyone blame everything on bears? Okay.
You got anything better? I mean, like zombies, aliens, time-hopping Draculas.
Ryan?
Hey! Run!
We ain't playing games no more, little girl.
There's something coming!
2 lost. Max, we're lost. 3!
Terrified kids are bad for business.
You have to cut it off! Cut it off!
Anyway, maybe just ease up on the ghost stories.
Sorry.
Just stick to Kumbaya next time, okay?
What's that?
You guys don't do Kumbaya anymore?
I thought that was a rainy.
Hello, my friend. Welcome to the show.
Okay, so the reason we're excited about this is for anyone that doesn't know Supermassive Games, they are the company that made the great game Until Dawn. I love that game so much. It's one of my favorite PlayStation games ever made. And this is the spiritual successor to that game. So while we have had entries to the same, like sort of the genre like that they're doing, like so they do these like narrative driven choice consequence games where you're like, it's not heavy gameplay. It's more like quick time events, picking what you're going to say, doing things in time, picking the right decisions to see how many people you're going to have survive by the end of the story. And with this game, what's cool about it is it's not like the previous entries we've had into the Dark Pictures anthology, which is sort of bite-sized pieces of the game. Those games, like Until Dawn was like a full experience. It was like 12 hours or something like that, maybe 12 hours. And it was like it felt like a fully realized game with that conception behind it. Yeah. Whereas the Dark Pictures anthology has sort of been hit and miss on quality, has sort of felt a little less than Until Dawn, in my opinion. I know you haven't played it. And I feel like this is like where that quality drop has come back to Until Dawn's creators, Supermassive, and they're giving us finally what everyone wants, is a full-blown, real deal, story-driven narrative choice consequence game. What are your thoughts on it, Alan? And how excited are you for this?
I am pretty excited, and I like that it's coming out on Xbox as well, because as you said, I've not done Until Dawn, and it's one of those games that I eventually want to get a PS4 or a PS5 to play. And I'm excited for something that's a bit more sizable, that is along the lines of the Dark Pictures, because at this point that's the only experience I have with it. So I also like that playing something along those lines that's a bit removed as well. Like, this seems like it has a bit of a horror vibe, but it's not necessarily along the same lines as Dark Pictures. Like, it's not going to be, I don't know.
It feels like what Until Dawn feels like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pull up the trailer.
I'm not looking forward to having characters die like 2 hours in and then playing for 12 hours and not having them. But I am also looking forward to that.
Well, this is the trailer for Until Dawn. For anyone that hasn't seen it or played it, I'm going to bring it up. We'll watch it. It's only a minute 57. And I'll show you everyone what I mean by the comparisons between games of this feeling like more of a successor than previous installments in the Dark Pictures anthology. So,
Peggy 18.
First off, I gotta say, I'm super excited to welcome all my pals back to the annual Blackwood Winter Getaway. Let's make this one trip we will never forget.
So that's the trailer for Until Dawn. And I don't know if anyone feels the same as I do, but I feel like the Quarry's trailer mimics a lot of what we see in Until Dawn and feels sort of on that level of production and horror. Would you agree, Alan?
Definitely.
And what you played Man of Medan, you've played Little Hope, and you've played the newest one, yeah?
Yeah. Yes, I have, yeah.
And apparently that deal's still going, so we're still expecting more Dark Pictures games. The Quarry game has apparently been in production for a long time, like over 3 years, or at least 2. I know it's, and we can expect it sooner than everyone really thinks. It's available for pre-order now for June 4th, I think.
Ooh.
So we are only a couple of months away, 3 months, 4 months away from having this game in our hands, which is even more exciting to me, rather than having to wait months and months and months. This is probably coming up to one of my most anticipated titles this year. I mean, what about you, Alan?
I am right there with you as well. I'm glad I didn't have to wait long for it either. It's nice.
I'm very excited. And yeah, like I'm excited to see more of David Arquette, because after seeing him in Scream 5, look, Dewey never was my favorite character, and we can always talk about that. But in Scream 5, I feel like Dewey took on a new persona and a new character, and it was awesome. And had he played that character that way in the future movies, I would have still been stoked that he was doing that. You know what I mean? So I'm stoked to see more of David Arquette being around, you know, because his acting in Scream 5 was on par awesome, and I would have loved to see more of that going ahead if we do indeed get him in future installments, you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to avoid spoilers here for Scream. So yeah, there is a chance that we could get him in future installments. Just that's all I'm going to say. Just like there was a chance for Randy. Oh man, no spoilers. Anyway, none. If you haven't seen it yet and you care, what are you doing? That's all I'm asking. And I'm just asking questions here, but what are you doing? All right, so we're going to move on to the next story with that, and that is Netflix's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Our impressions. Now, as everyone knows, or maybe don't know, we do a show called Ranked and Reviewed, where we rank and review movies. Sometimes we'll rank and review every movie in a franchise leading up to its new release of a new movie in the franchise, or we'll do every movie in the franchise in a row, or we'll do episodes out of order. It's a shit show, but it works, and it works well.
People like it, so
people like it, and we were going to do that sort of thing with Texas Chainsaw Massacre and watch all the previous films and all that. But I haven't watched one in a long time. Starting with don't think I've watched one since the remake with Jessica Biel in it. Which was a long time ago, and I saw that at the movies. I don't think I've seen the beginning, which came afterwards, and I don't think I've seen many beforehand, including the original. I can't really remember it that clearly. So, to be honest, I started here with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, except for the remake, which was really good. And I'll give my first impression of this movie. It sucked. It fucking sucked. This movie was shit, man. And you actually messaged me. I wasn't going to talk about this movie, but because you just watched it and messaged me saying you watched it, I hadn't even told you I'd watched it, so I thought we'd discuss it this episode. Let me hear your thoughts on it because you had a different opinion on it.
I'm almost the polar opposite. I think it was better than most we've seen from the franchise. I wouldn't put it on the same level as Halloween Kills, but as far as mainstream horror goes, it delivered for me. I liked it. It was a little bit weird. There's some things I think it could have done without, but where it needed to do things right, I think it did things right.
But I'm lost. I'm lost with your decision just because what did you like about it? Was it the casting? Was it Leatherface? Was it the kills? Was it what was the biggest draw? Because to me, the casting was horrible and I hated the actors. I didn't like the characters. I didn't like Leatherface. And I thought the length of the movie was a joke. It was like an hour and 20 minutes. Like it was barely a fucking movie. And just bringing Leatherface into that realistic zone of being on that bus with all the people taking the fucking pictures and shit like that. Like it just did so much wrong to tamper the image of Leatherface, in my opinion. So give me your opinions of what you didn't like on it.
I think they kept it simple. It was a weird decision to not have the kind of accompanying redneck family that I didn't like so much.
That's what I wanted out of this. I wanted that. See that house there? I wanted fucking that house to be a hellhole. You know what I mean? And it just wasn't like what we've been made out to believe this entire time. So keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's all right. I also like it in the way that the victims, a lot of them deserve what they got to a degree. And I think it was kind of... I found myself at times going, I don't feel sorry for you.
It's just baffling to me, man, because like they brought back this legacy character, yet it's not the real legacy character. She, I think, is passed away or something like that, the actress. So it's like this lady playing that character, but that legacy character in the first movie had no significance. Like she was the only one to get away at the end, but it wasn't like you were rooting for that character in the first one. As far as I can remember, there wasn't one sort of final girl. It was just that was the one that got away. She was not super interesting throughout the movie or anything. She just was the one that got away. And I just thought the whole thing of bringing her back 20-something years later, or whenever this is supposed to be set. How long is this supposed to be set later?
50 years.
So that's what I mean, man. It just makes zero sense to me. Like the whole I didn't like the town. I didn't like how it was set in this sort of cowboy looking town without a saloon. Looked like something off Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't know, man. There's just so many aspects to it that I didn't like. It's hilarious when he stands up in that poppy field scene and he's just standing in the middle of the poppy sunflower scene thing. That looks hilarious, bro. I don't know, man. I just found this movie to be sort of almost laughable and sort of now I see why it didn't make it to theaters and it went straight to Netflix.
No, it's I don't know. I like the simplicity of it. I don't like that they made him somewhat...
That's hilarious, that bit right there. Just as he's standing up. Sorry, keep going.
I think the kills were gory and well done, and I think that's... When I watch the Texas Chainsaw movie, that's one of the main things I look for, and it delivered there. So, I mean, I don't think it's the gold standard of horror. I don't think it was amazing, but I enjoyed it.
Where would you put it compared to the remake with Jessica Biel? Would you put this ahead of it? Please say no.
It's been a long time since I've watched that remake. I'll probably maybe put it at about the same standard.
But let me just take you back to what the remake starts off with. The black and white footage with the voice that tells you this is based on true events kind of thing. Looks real, has the camera sound, has all that. Then they going in the van down the street. They pull that hitchhiker that looks lost as fuck. She shoots herself in the head. They have to pull over. The sheriff comes, fucks with them. They end up having to go to that house. They're torn into that house. The chase scene through the laundry and all that. Jessica Biel hiding in the cars, on the farm. The way people were hung on hooks. Dude, there's no way this movie was that fucking good. That remake was... I'd say that remake was if you're going to put it, just ranking these, that was a 9 out of 10, and this was a 4 for me.
I think the only reason I'll put it around the same is the remake. Whilst it was good because it was so close to the original, it really was just an updated copy of the original, from what I recall. Like it didn't. It was good because it was a faithful remake, whereas this was good because it was a reasonable continuation. I think, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So for different reasons.
No, I totally get it. And look, as I said, man, like I just didn't like it. I wasn't super into it. To be honest, I didn't even get all the way through because I was like, I don't like this movie. Like, I really enjoyed watching Scream movies lately, Halloween movies, all that sort of shit. Like, and again, this is coming from someone who really liked Halloween Kills. And I see people putting this above Halloween Kills in their rankings for movies in the last year that are horror related. So
I wouldn't go that far by any means. The Halloween Kills was pretty flawless. I think this was
Double Toasted said that this was on the par, if not like Halloween Kills was shitter than this, and I was shocked because while I was a sort of like praiser of Halloween Kills, and thought I really liked how. Look, people were like, nothing happened in the movie. It sort of didn't move anywhere. And we kind of in the same note we were with the first movie. While I get that, I feel like the third movie will bridge that gap and will make that second movie more enjoyable to the fans that want this trilogy. And with this movie, I don't feel like there's even a hope we're getting a second one that's going to include this timeline. I don't feel like...
I don't think we will. No.
I think anything that's going to happen with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they're going to reboot the timeline or they're going to do another requel or something like that, you know? Similar to what Halloween has done. So, I don't know. I guess we'll keep our eyes on that for the future. And we're up to our last two stories for the night, which are this podcast. That is Scream 6 has officially been greenlit. And this comes... again, this isn't me reading from an article. This is just watching other YouTubers, other people on Scream. If everyone hasn't seen 3C Films or subscribe to 3C Films, go check him out. He does a really good job covering all these movies. I watch a lot of his stuff. I don't know if you watch 3C Films, Alan. He's a really cool dude. He seems really cool, nice, and fun. And he does a good job with the movies. So...
I don't know if I've seen him to my knowledge. Like I could have blown past him.
I'll bring up him because I just feel like if I'm going to talk about him, I should like give people like a sort of a view of what his channel, what he does, and sort of things like that. So I mean,
after victims,
so I'm going to bring it up now.
Unique and interesting
Go check out him. He is a really nice guy. He looks like a really nice guy. Anyway, he does a good job with these movies. So. He does reviews on the movies.
I'm posting this video, where if you buy tickets for that specific screening, not only will you...
So, like, he tries to add some, like, humor to it, you know, like...
Scream.
Just trying to find a style.
You know what? Being a fan of this franchise, I'm just going to call it Scream 5. And with Scream 5, good old 5 cream, we follow our brand new lead, played by Melissa Barrera. In this new reboot sequel for the franchise, we will find her and her...
So, as you can see,
this will be a spoiler for
just like Stu.
I won't give away any major details about the movie. I firmly believe to enjoy a Scream movie for the first time, you should go in completely blank.
So yeah, everyone go check him out. He's really cool. He does a great job of his reviews. Yeah, I would recommend him highly along with Sacred Symbols. So anyways, moving on to our story. Scream 5 has been greenlit, and it is actually filming as of this summer in America. So June, July, we are going to see them filming Scream 6. And I'm guessing we're going to see it sooner than later. Like, I didn't think we'd get one this quick. What are your thoughts on that?
I like it, and I like that we're not getting a big weight, that they're kind of striking while the iron's hot. And I also heard that apparently, and I can't say for sure because once again it's from articles, I've heard that Courtney Cox is definitely on board as well, which makes me wonder, are you going to start seeing like the Star Wars thing where the legacy characters are killed off each movie?
Yeah, obviously. And like, obviously Dewey could come back at any time because he's safe and sound. Don't worry.
That's it. He's okay.
He's okay.
He's just sleeping.
You know how many people are going to be fucking mad at us for this episode? Whatever. Listen, if you really care about Scream and you don't want spoilers, move to the next story. Dewey doesn't make it. So interesting to see if they do.
And also, if you're a really big Scream fan and you didn't gather that from the trailer, where I picked it, Tomye picked it, we all picked it.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious, man. And look, we didn't spoil shit. This movie it's now available, I think, home video. Like so if you really want to watch this movie, it's out. You know what I mean? So look, I'm really excited. I mean, what are you hoping for the sequel, and what are you hoping for like them to do? I'm like kind of hoping that my idea is that this time we get a Ghostface that ends on a cliffhanger, and this Ghostface continues to the next movie. That's what I'd really like to see.
That would be really cool. I didn't want that, but now I do. That is a cool idea.
Imagine, like, say on Scream 4, how she's like, when you see that, is it her niece? Is it, what's her name? Jen? Or something like that? Julie? I don't know.
Yeah.
Julie, is it?
I think so, yeah.
I can't remember. Anyways, she ends up like trying to do it and become the next Sydney Prescott. She wants fame, like, and she like throws herself through the table, like stabs herself against the wall and all that. Imagine she had gotten away with that and continued on to the next movie being famous, and not what wasn't Ghostface, but continued being famous, went off to school. Everyone that was alive at the time like died, so no one knew that everyone that was alive didn't know it was her that did all that, thought she was a survivor as well. And then a new Ghostface comes along and knows what she did and wants to spoil her secret and take over as being the Ghostface. Imagine they had done something like that with Scream 4. That's what I want from this next sequel, is them to get these killers, let them get away, because we've already seen with the first scene, we got someone that survived the first scene rather than just died flat out, which is what has happened throughout every Scream movie in the first 4. So we already had that change of pace. Let's change the ending up and let it hang on a cliffhanger so that there's a reason to come back to see Scream 3 and see it from a whole different dynamic. Or, well, Scream 7, whatever it's called, in this trilogy. Like, you know what I mean? Well, is that what you recommend not recommend, it's what you'd like to see and hoping to see, or are you hoping that we get the whodunit again? Because
I would like to see that, because I think that would be a nice change there to gently break the mold.
Definitely. And I just feel like you don't want them to always be the same fucking movie. You don't always want the, oh, here it comes. Like, we do want that reveal at the end, but it would be cool if that person managed to get away with it, sort of think they got away with it, get some fame off it or whatever, and then the new Ghostface is like, I know your fucking secret. You know what I mean? And like, I'm here to ruin your shit. Like, you know? So again, that's shooting this summer, so we will see it sooner rather than later. And we will bring up our last story for the episode, which is, I don't know if you've seen this yet, Alan, I brought it up as a last minute thing. The Moon Knight new trailer has dropped, I think it was 16 hours ago or something like that. And I thought we'd bring up the trailer to watch. I haven't watched the first one. I watched your breakdown sort of thing, but I haven't watched the trailer in full or anything like that. So it'd be good to see this. You've seen it, have you, Alan?
I haven't seen this one. There's been, I think, 3 now.
Yep.
So I haven't seen this one. I'm not in the last 16 hours at least.
And what's your like level of excitement for this?
I'm pretty pumped. There's a bit of change going on from what I can see, but it all looks very good.
Cool. Well, let's have a watch of it.
What are you? Are you like living inside of me? It's a little more complicated than that.
Mark, you look different.
I'm gonna bring this back a little bit, sorry.
Stephen. What are you? Are you like living inside of me? It's a little more complicated than that.
Mark, you look different.
We protect the vulnerable and deliver justice. This is the best, worst day of my life.
Marvel Studios Moon Knight, only on Disney+.
So that's the trailer there. Short, what did you think of it? Did you show much else new in it that you hadn't seen?
Showed a bit more action, and I'm liking it.
Yep.
Yes.
And when's this starting? It's starting March
It's a
30th.
month,
So
yeah.
the end of this month. It's pretty close. Very
I
close.
think 30th it's starting. I could
Yeah,
be
30th
wrong.
of March. So very close. It looks really cool to me, man. It sort of looks like a. So, correct me, I can't remember. It's a vigilante. Does he have much powers or anything like that? Like,
He's varied a little bit. I think they're going more on the supernatural side here, where he has powers by night. Sometimes in the comics, he's just like gadgets like Batman, but I think they're straying away from that, and he's going to have some durability and some extra strength, and yeah, he's got multiple personalities as well. So he's got this Spec Ops guy personality. He's got in the comics a millionaire, but in this it looks like just like a humble Joe library museum curator or worker.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
I mean, to me, this looks more enjoyable from a person that likes grounded comic heroes. This looks a lot more enjoyable to me than anything they've sort of advertised for Disney Plus, Marvel wise. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing an episode of this. You know what I mean? And seeing what I think of it. He looks pretty dope. I like how he stops the bullets and shit with his cape. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't really, as you know, I'm not the superhero dude here, so I'm trying to go in depth, and I'm like, I like his cape. I like his cowl. Does he have powers? You know what I mean? So I'm not the best. But, it looks cool, man. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. Would have you preferred this or a movie?
I think a series is good for this. I reckon ultimately we're going to see him lead into a movie, maybe with other characters, but I reckon the series will fit well.
Awesome, man. Well, that brings it to the end of this episode of Louder Pop Culture Podcast. A little bit longer than usual. Just thought we'd go into more depth with sort of some things and have a bit of a chat because we haven't uploaded for a few days. But if you haven't checked that out, we did recently do CKY Ranked and Reviewed. We did all the 4 movies videos in one episode. That was a bit of fun. We rewatched some of our favorite clips and all that. And as we said at the start, we are beginning our Batman Ranked and Reviewed series as of this week with our Batman 1989 review dropping tomorrow, so Tuesday, the 22nd of March, Australian time. So, I mean, have you rewatched it yet in preparation for this episode, Alan? And
that is, I'm going to do that again tonight. That's my tonight thing to do. So I'm looking forward to it.
All I'm going to say about it is that before, I rewatched it just for this review, I wasn't looking forward to watching it, and I really enjoyed my time with it. So that's all I'm going to say about it, but we'll tackle that more tomorrow. And remember, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like, and share. Again, you will be in the draw for the next milestone, which is 150 subscribers. We will let you know the prize when we know what that is. And if you're one of the 100 subscribers that have been here from the start, make sure you tune into our Batman episode tomorrow to find out if you're the lucky winner of the splash symbol that we've been wanting to get rid of for such a long time, and now are able to because we've reached 108 subscribers. So again, thank you to everyone that has subscribed. We really appreciate it. I know Alan's really appreciative, and he's just been walking around jerking it with excitement.
That's it.
We're sorry to anyone that we spoiled Scream 5 for. Dewey's all right. Don't worry. He'll pull through. And we're sorry if we are excited for Hogwarts Legacy, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles, you know what I'm saying? So this has been Loud, a pop culture podcast for March 21st, 2022. I'm your host, as always, Tomye West. Joining me, as always, has been Alannis Maximus, and we will see you on the other side. Stay loud.